That beats cool.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Man, I can't complain. I can't complain at all, man. It's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been a
It's
while.
been a minute. I've been noticing you've been doing your thing. You was in Miami working with David Benavidez not too long ago too.
Yes, yes. I appreciate you watching me. You know what I'm saying? It's all coming together. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what they say.
It is, it is. Before we get into the boxing, man, I just want to get to know you a little bit better. What year did you go into the military? 'Cause I know you got a military, man.
All right. So I went in the military 86. No. 87. I've been in the Army 20. I went to the Army 20. Been in the Army 21 years.
Oh, you did 21 years.
Yes, hard labor.
So what year you got out?
2008.
Oh, yeah, so you really put in some work.
Yeah, that's what I do all the time. I put that work in, no matter where I go, what I do.
Yeah. I don't know why I missed that the last time we talked. I know you was in, but I didn't know you did the whole. So what rank did you end up achieving?
I was E7 promotable, so I could have made my E8, but they want me to stay in a little longer, and I was ready to get out.
That's staff sergeant.
Sergeant first class.
Sergeant first class.
Yeah.
Man, that changed everything, yo. Now I'm looking at you like top already. Man, what was your MOS?
I had 3 of them. 13 Bravo was my first one. That was artillery.
That's infantry, right?
Artillery. Yeah, we all infantry once your vehicle's deployed. That's what we tell everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So 13 Bravo was artillery. That changed over to 76. Well, I changed my MOS to 76 Charlie, which was a quartermaster. So I went to Fort Lee, Virginia, which changed over to 92 Alpha, and then I went to 25 Bravo, was a computer program after I got out of the Olympics.
Okay. And so you say Olympics?
Yeah, I was on Olympics 1996. I was alternate for Olympic team. So Floyd, Sam, Judo, we had a blast, man. You know,
where did you deploy to?
I didn't deploy nowhere. I was home the whole time. So I always tell people this story, and you'll love it. Well, it's not love it, but ironic. I was in the Army 21 years. I got shot at 2 different times, and the 2 times I got shot at was living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, not in nowhere else.
You know, I understood that. I figured that out when I was in the military, that you could be in the military all the time and never be deployed.
Yes. Yes.
But that don't really mean anything, though. I mean, you still serving. I mean, to be in the military, people think that people have mixed feelings about it, but I don't think it's easy. I mean, it's easy when you can just be told what to do and get paid in that sense.
Right.
But to have to do this for X amount of years, waking up at a certain time, following orders, being on a certain command, being on a certain leadership, like, that's hard.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what really be breaking people down over a period of time.
Definitely. I think the repetition and then the same old thing, going through the intense stuff that you do. Like, because people work a job for 20 years doing the same exact thing, the post office or different things. And they'd be like, oh, they get their 20 years in. But, you know, being in the military, you have to work the physical aspect of it. Then you have to work the mental aspect of your job. So it is a lot of work that has to be done that tears a lot on your body. Like me, I jumped out of airplanes, rappel out of helicopters. So my last job, they wanted me to go to Iraq, I think it was. Because I had an identifier, top secret security clearance, and I jumped out of airplanes, they wanted me to go to a certain unit. And I was like, oh, hell no. That's it, I think.
And by the way, you good if you go back and forth between the eye movement, you good. Okay. So at what point did you get involved in boxing?
I got in boxing in Philly, playing basketball.
Was this during the time you was in the military?
No, this is way before. All my life, I played basketball and fight. They went hand in hand. Play basketball, and then you get the altercation, you fight at half court, and you go back to play basketball.
That I do know. Anybody who play basketball in the hood, like, it comes with it. Yes. But like throughout them 20 years, like, how did boxing stay consistent?
I went to the Army to box. Like, I played basketball. One of the recruiters saw me boxing, and he was like, hey, man, you know, I think that you would do well. You join the Army team. The Army has like the best program. Then you show them, watch them on TV. Armed Forces Championships, like, they're ranked number 1. I started looking at the rankings. The Army guys was always ranked number 1, 2, and 3. So I was like, oh man, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this.
So how do you Dang. Cause I mean, when I was in, I heard about some guys fighting, but I never went to any fights in the army with them fighting in the army.
Yeah.
Is that green? Let me show. Is that on? Make sure. Okay, yeah, bet it's on. It's on. Yeah, what's about to say?
You know, so you know in the army they have all sports. Don't get me wrong. Now, if you infantry or artillery, they ain't really telling you about the sports, but they have all sports. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're 88 Mike, you these are the four MOSs.
You know, that
They
was
ain't gonna,
mine.
oh, they ain't gonna tell you nothing.
I was 88 Mike.
88 Mike, 11 Bravo, 13 Bravo, and a cook. They will never
They
tell you
don't take. Yep.
anything because they
I
don't. They
was an
want you to
88
do that.
Mike.
They want you to do that job. So definitely right. So I wound up. We had in Hawaii. They had a Conroy Bowl. Every year they had boxing, so they had this boxing tournament. So every year they would have a boxing tournament. When I first got there, they were like, "Who's signing up for boxing?" You raised my hand, this and that, and then we had a coach, and then we had to like special duty for a while, and we had to wind up boxing, and then uh we wound up winning. It was a big thing too, Conroy Bowl. So I wound up winning that every year, and then from there start boxing civilians, and then wound up winning the national. So I had to go to travel, had to get off that island some type of way. So I wound up
This is
traveling.
why you was in
Well, I was in the army
and ranking up.
Yeah,
That's tough.
yeah. It was awesome though.
So, at what point did you fall in love with boxing?
Oh, I fell in love with boxing in Philly because you play basketball, get to altercations, and everybody would watch. Boxing was on 3, 6, and 10 channels like every weekend. So I fell in love with boxing then. So I always loved boxing. It was boxing and basketball. Those were the two my favorite sports.
How would you compare boxing to the military? And I know it's a loaded question, but since we both served, I know there's an answer to it.
Okay. The structure. So when you're in a combat unit, you know what I'm saying, or 88 mics, 11 Bravos, 13 Bravos, you have more structure than anybody else, or than a lot of other MOSs. So that part was it like you had to do a certain thing. They didn't care about if you were hurt, injured, or illness. You had to get it done, 9 out of 10, and that was your goal was. So boxing is the same way because you could be sick, you know what I'm saying? You could be hurting, but the day you have to box, you have to perform.
Yeah, yeah. And you only got that time period to perform. Um, I think it's I think it's like that in the military. Now I haven't went down range with my rifle to shoot somebody, but at that point that's when all that training come into play.
Yeah. Well, I haven't either, so I can't tell you, but yes.
But
I
yeah, you
always
can
tell people,
imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
that's why training is so important in both aspects.
Yeah. I always tell people you have to be technically and tactically proficient because, there's a peacetime and a wartime situation. So, when somebody's like in boxing, it's like somebody shooting at you. Like you could go through it in practice, it's a certain way, but when you under them bright lights and them gloves are smaller, they're really firing them rounds at you. We're gonna see how you're gonna react.
That's a great way to put it.
Um,
That's a great way to put it. The only difference is that you might have a million plus people watching
I
you.
mean, and listen, getting shot at, listen, and performing while you're getting shot at, I don't care if it's a million people watching you or one person shooting at you. That's very intense, bro.
Yeah, nah, it is.
And coming from somebody who have been shot at several times, not in the military, it's definitely different.
So at what point did you know was boxing forever? Because that's pretty much
Boxing
where it
forever.
seems like you at now in
Oh
in
yeah,
your life.
yeah. I eat, sleep. Let me see, boxing forever. I think about 18 years old. But I think about 18 years old. Yeah, it was like boxing. It was like this was all I want to do. Like I was in the military doing X, Y, and Z, but everybody was like, it was 13. They used to always say, you're not 13. 13 Bravo don't means 13 boxer. Because I was always boxing and I was always doing something boxing wise. I was good at my job, proficient at 13 Bravo also. But it was about boxing. So I would say 18 years old.
So you say you got out
2008.
2008.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the funny part about that, and I think this is where we kind of collide with my introduction to boxing. So I was in 2008. Was in the eighth grade. I was in the eighth grade, and I had a coach.
Yeah.
And he came and he had the sombrero. And this was whenever Floyd fought De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Now the only boxing I knew at that time was Mike Tyson.
Okay.
So when he came to school the next day with the sombrero, and
Was he Mexican?
he was black.
Okay.
And he
Okay.
was making fun of
All the Mexicans or
all the
Hispanic.
Mexicans, eighth
Like
graders though.
yeah.
But my school, it was kind of, we was ghetto. So yeah, man, he talking shit to the kids, you know what I'm saying, with the sombrero. And I'm like, not knowing what he talking about. And then that's when I got introduced to Floyd.
Oh, okay.
That's whenever I got put on the Floyd. So how was it, that transition of the military, getting out in '08 to working with Floyd? Because that's when Floyd really took off, like, I guess, on the worldly tip after De La Hoya, that De La Hoya fight.
All right, so like we gotta go back. So I was on the Olympic team in 1996. I knew all those guys, so we were always keep in contact all the time.
Oh, okay.
So I actually been to a couple of camps when I was in the army. I would just go out there and hang out with them. Then actually, Pernell Whitaker was going to fight Jose. Pernell Whitaker was fighting. Man, he fought him twice. Who did Pernell Whitaker fight twice? It was a Spanish guy. He was from Puerto Rico because I went to camp. I went to go train with him.
Mm-hmm.
I used to whoop his ass every day. That's when I was like, oh, I'm turning pro. Hold on, I gotta look at it. Pernell Whitaker fought, because the first one, boxer. So he fought a guy twice, man. And I was thinking, man, let's go Wilfredo Rivera.
Okay.
So yeah, are you ready? So Pernell Whitaker fights Wilfredo Rivera twice. The first time it was a draw, or I don't know if he won or it was a draw, but they had to fight again. Okay, so they had to fight again. So during this time, Zab was going to sign with Lou Duva. We were on the Olympic team at the time. He was going to sign with Duva. Duva was financing him. Floyd was Bob Arum. Well, actually, they were all getting money. Zaire Rahim, Floyd Mayweather, and Zab Judah is they are three geniuses before their times. They had a plan, and their plan was they all act like they were brothers, and they all brought some people in to the circle. So Lou Duval was giving Zab, Floyd, and Zaire money. Don King was giving Zab, Floyd, and Zaire money, and Bob Arum was giving them money because they all wound up signing with all three different guys. So it was amazing because they had all, I think, the gear that they had back in the day. They had like
Keep
the
on going. Keep
Versace.
on going. I just want to make sure I get you. Make sure you're right. Yeah, you keep on going.
They had the Versace's and they had the man. I'm trying to figure out what the kind of gear that they had. They had all the gear. They had all the fly gear back. They had the flip phones, and they had the flip phones, and they had the big old ugly dookie phones, man. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So they were getting money. So and they were giving it to him. Luduva and Zab, they didn't want Zab to go, but they had asked me because I was bigger. They asked me to go to train with Wilfredo Rivera. So I wound up training with him, and I wound up going to Puerto Rico training with this guy. So I go train with him, and they was like, Zab was like, I'm gonna hook you up with Lou. And Lou was like, if you drop him or you beat him up really, really bad, I'm gonna give you some money. My thing was I was a Pernell Whitaker fan. So I love Pernell Whitaker. Like that was my guy, still my guy, all-time favorite, best defense in the world ever. I don't care what nobody says. But I was like, yeah, cool. So I would beat up with Fredo Rivera every day. Like we sparred maybe 8 times, and he got over 1 time out of 7. Out of 8, yeah, I would beat him up like to where they would put me last, then they put me second, then they put me head to head like first. And me being an amateur, they would go 6 rounds, 8 rounds, and me being an amateur, they would think that I was going to quit. But I was from Philly, and that's all we did was spar those rounds. So I would be whooping on it. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna turn pro too. Like, because if he's number one and he can't punch to save his life, I was like, oh, I'll do well. And that's how I, got to that situation.
You said Floyd and Zab, those guys was geniuses before their time.
Heck yeah. And Zaire Rahim. But that's the one to beat Eric Morales. I'm telling you, those guys, man, those guys had a plan. They were like, how you say somebody's before their time. They were definitely before their time.
Spontaneous. Do you think that that's what Shakur is doing with him
boxing IQ. His boxing IQ is very,
We're
very
talking about
poor.
on the business side of things.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know about his
Because I'm
fitness.
saying that because him, Keyshawn, and like we got a lot of these boxers that are modeling the Floyd business model and is working for them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. I can't tell you. I would tell you that Devin Haney and his dad had a plan, and their plan came into fruition because when I trained him for his first 3 pro fights, he always told me, "I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you because when we fight Lomachenko, I'm gonna need you because Lomachenko's left-handed. I'm gonna need you." He always talked about that. Now I didn't train him during that time. They never called me back, but I was doing other things too. I had Danny Jacobs. I had Tony Harrison. For me to see him at 17, train him 3 times, and then him 24, 23, 24 at 24 years old fighting Lomachenko, just like he said he was, you know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, they had a plan, a vision, and it worked out. So you got to write it down. You got to have a visionary board, man. You got to speak it to existence. Well, he talked about that when he was 16 years old, and then you turn around and see, here we are now. And then
They was on YouTube talking about this when Haney was training at Floyd's gym all the time.
So that was he's like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned Devin Haney because it brings me to the next question. Now I love both fighters, Floyd and Haney.
Okay.
Deron and Haney, for me, it made me love Haney even more.
Okay.
It made me even more of a fan of Haney. With Floyd being the GOAT, what comparisons do you see between both of them?
Training. Devin doesn't take too much time off. Devin feels bad when he don't train. He know he needs to get rest, so he needs rest days, but he feels bad or he feels like he's sick when he doesn't train. And I can tell you that from me training him for his first 3, from amateur to his first 3 pro fights till now, me training him now, it seemed like nothing has changed. All our gears are the same. Him and I talking is like 10 years later, it's like nothing has never changed at all. We were in the gym yesterday and his brother said, Dad said it and his brother said, it was like, it's just like deja vu, like when he was 17 years old and y'all was training. He was like, ain't nothing changed. Y'all two are just still on the same wavelength. They gave me compliments about my training and teaching is like how sharp he looks and how sharp he feels. And it was just like, hey man, it seemed like, y'all was meant to be. I was like, yeah.
How is it seeing Haney now compared to when you first seen him first started working with him? Because now you're a grown man.
Yeah, he was always an introvert. People may not see, or they may know or may not, but I'm just giving you. Haney doesn't like people. Introverts. I'm not saying he don't like people.
I can pick that vibe up for some reason. I can pick that vibe up.
Bill Haney is the extrovert. He'll go anywhere, talk shit to you, have fun. God bless you. What's up?
Yeah, I just seen Bill.
Yeah.
At the bar.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
Yeah. He'll greet you first, talk to you.
And he did. Yeah. Yo, he was really
Devin
cool.
will be like, whoa, get this guy away from me. You know what I'm saying to himself. Like, yeah.
And I understand that point of view 1000%, especially how crazy things are. For sure.
Yeah.
But what made me become more of a Haney fan, because I had Haney going into that fight, but when throughout the fight, he was like still fighting hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, from the first round to the last round.
And this is my thing. He fought that fight. He still got on the ropes, greet the whole crowd with his hands up, with his head raised up. And then he takes some time off. He come back, he fight
Ramirez.
Yes. Okay. Excessive movement around the ring. Now all of a sudden, he's a runner. And I'm like, damn, all these fights he had, he ain't run against Linares, he ain't run against none of these fighters. But now all of a sudden, he a runner. And I'm like, to what you're saying, like he don't like people. I can see that. Like, I mean, shit, I wouldn't like people either. You know what I'm saying?
You want to say not like people. He just like.
I know what you mean.
Like. Yeah,
I know
as
exactly.
an extrovert, we just want to say that he likes the people that he likes.
No. I get exactly what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Like those who are like that. Like we know, like we don't not like people.
Yeah.
not care about people, but we just cautious.
Yeah, very
You know what I'm
cautious.
saying?
Very cautious. He's not doing what everybody else do. He ain't even like going for it. He like, nah, I'm just gonna do my own thing. Yeah, he's his own entity. You know what I'm saying? But his dad did well by the things like Devin Haney promotions. He was doing that since he was like 16, 17 years old. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna, and for me to see it 10 years later, because I was with him when he started. I was with all the talk, all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's basically talk at first. But now I come back and I'm like, I had already seen it, but I was like, oh shit, it's really happened. He really did it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud and happy for him. You know.
I don't even know him, but anytime I see a black man doing well, I'm super proud.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
super proud, And I personally, I was always a fan of Haney, still is a fan of Haney, but that Ryan Garcia fight really made me like major fan because now it's like, okay, now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that fight was flawed due to accusations and not even accusations, the fact that they found something.
Yes.
But the fact that he still, man, look, there's not too many fighters nowadays that are like that because everybody trying to protect that off. So
Yeah.
I respect Haney a lot more since that fight. Um, with you working with Haney, Floyd, David Benavidez, and these long lists of fighters, what's the best camp you've been in ever?
Shucks, the best camp. I can tell you the worst by far.
The one
The worst is Danny Jacobs versus Canelo. That's oh my gosh, that the worst. I don't think
was that fight in San Antonio?
that fight was in Vegas,
Okay,
but we trained in New York,
okay.
and I had just got on the team for that fight, and I was supposed to train him like twice a week, holding the mitts, but I was supposed to come to everything. Not the strength and condition, but I came anyway because I have nothing to do. Like if I'm invested in a fight, I want to watch everything. And then also it's like, well, he doing strength and condition, I could work out also. I just didn't want to sit around and do nothing.
Mhm.
I'm in New York, so I'm a stranger to New York. So I just was like hung out and watched it all. But it was like two alpha males, his trainer at the time, and then his strength and conditioning guy trying to fight and just do everything. And it just was too much. But his camp, he was over 200 pounds or 200 pounds. When he came into camp, he had to make 160. So it was 8 weeks of, him making the weight, which he did make the weight. But it was like 40 pounds he had to lose. And it was a pure shit show. And then it was like really, really cold in New York where we were. I think we were in Long Island. It was really, really cold. And I kept saying, let's go to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas. As you're warmer and then you'll be at, sun is shining. You'll be able to cut weight faster.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Vegas like 2 weeks before the fight. And then when we got there, he was like, man, you're right. I should have went earlier because, to lose weight faster. And then he was just like, the sun was out. So he was loving life. It was a shit show. It was terrible.
So if
That was
you
my
would have had a
worst.
better camp, you think it would have been a better chance?
I mean, I think if we did better, I think you have to blame the fighter for some of because there's no way in the world you fight in October, which his next camp was excellent because it was just him and I. He had fired everybody. And we had a 10-week camp instead of an 8-week camp because I told him that you don't really box all year round and you like to travel and you play video games. So I was like, I have to train you 1 week a month, come to Atlanta, and then you have to have 10 weeks of camp instead of 8 weeks. We shouldn't be focusing on weight. We should be focusing on getting better. So that was really a good camp before I fight Chavez Jr. and stopping him like in the third or fourth round. But that was the better camp. But the camp before that, it was crazy. And then some of it, I told him when we talked that I put some of it on him because there's no way in the world, you fighting Canelo and you're gonna they offered you 7 million, and then I think the zone and them off De La Hoya and them offered 7.5 million. And then the zone was like, we're gonna give you the other 7.5, so we're gonna give you 15 basically. And then Canelo got like 33. So you're getting $15 million. That's like me telling you you're gonna get $15 million in May and you don't train. It's like, come on, dog.
I can't even imagine
My point exactly. So that's what I told him too. And I told him that too. I said, listen, we're gonna fight him again. I was like, man, you do X, Y, Z, we'll fight him again. I was like, I'm gonna move in with you. I said, because there's no way in the world you're gonna be overweight or you're gonna be like
Yeah.
you're gonna be boxing and having your mind right.
When you really invested into the sport, you hear a lot of things and Floyd, from what I've heard, his advice was always fight that you walk around with.
Yeah, Floyd is also he's an exception to the rule. That's why I tell people in my lifetime, growing up watching Ali, exception to the rule, there'll never be another one like him. I never seen Sugar Ray Robinson just on video, but Sugar Ray Robinson was a bad man. There'll never be another one like him. You know, you see these things that people try to do trend wise, and the trend doesn't work. There's people that wanted to be like my Ali, but they never was. You can't duplicate this situation. And Roy Jones is another one. Whoever Roy Jones trained, if he trains them to be just like him, they're gonna fall short because nobody's ever gonna be Roy Jones. So you
Yep.
see the guys looking like him doing certain things, you be like, oh,
It's like grandma's cooking. Yeah.
right. And then Floyd Mayweather is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather is another one that he does things, and I don't think there'll be another one
I
like him.
mean,
So
I think for me, I mean, just watching Floyd train was always the entertainment.
yes, definitely,
Just watching him
definitely.
train.
I was in 5 camps of Floyd's, and Floyd always made me feel like I'm never doing enough,
So okay,
like I should
so
be in better shape.
to make it easier, what is the best Floyd camp?
Well, to me, the best Floyd camp was the Pacquiao camp. That was the best camp ever.
Okay.
I think he got like over $1 million for his budget, and he bought everything was freaking new. But man, it was like a circus every day. And when I say circus in a good way, like if you could see, you can go to Circus Soleil every day, or every day had like they had like 8 weeks of Circus Soleil, but you go to a different one every time and be like Circus Soleil. That's how it was.
So he had a system.
I mean, no, it was just like he did what he did every day, but every day there was somebody that I admired or somebody who I was fond of was in the gym.
Okay.
Yeah. I hung out with Ghostface and Raekwon the Chef. Wound up going to being on stage with them because they had a show to do. So I wound up hanging out with them one day. Jermaine Dupri. I'm really fond of Janet Jackson, but that's the closest thing I get to Janet Jackson is hanging out with Jermaine Dupri.
Oh, that was during that time.
Yeah. So it was funny. But everybody, man, I'm a basketball fanatic. So there's basketball players that will come to watch him, like just watch him play. I'm a basketball fanatic. Like basketball is actually my favorite. Boxing is like I'm born to do it, but if I had a chance now, if you could be 6'8" and be a guard, or you would box and be the world champion, what would you do? I would be the 6'8" guard.
Yeah, who would want to hoop?
Yeah, I love the hoopers. So, but I would get a chance to talk to hoopers. You know, I would talk to coaches that play, you know what I'm saying? Coaches would come to the gym and I would get a chance to talk basketball to the coaches and stuff, like guys that I watched on TV that I was like, oh my gosh, this is so and so. So we would talk basketball.
You talked to Doc Rivers?
I talked to Doc Rivers. I talked to Doc Rivers. I talked to one of my favorite basketball coaches, Coach UNL, no, he coached Louisville and Kentucky. I forgot his name. He got indicted for the Adidas situation, but he was one of my favorite coaches. But I got a chance to talk to him. He also coached the New York Knicks at one time. Got a chance to talk to Pat Riley before. So it was just like everybody would come watch Floyd train. So it was like a circus. And I was like enjoying myself. Saw Lil' Kim. I remember Zab introduced me to Lil' Kim. I didn't know who the hell she was. I was like, he was like, oh yeah, we talking. He's like, yes. And I'm like, the lady said, you know, it's Lil' Kim. I'm like, no, that is not Lil' Kim. Yeah, but I was amazed. But we had a blast, man. I'm talking about that camp, 8 weeks. Everybody came to watch Floyd train. Everybody came to watch.
With the camps, in what ways does it make you better as a coach? Like, what is your biggest benefit of these camps?
Watching camps or being a part of the camps, whatever. Being a part of camps, it reminds you of you. It's like school, you know. Like I ask you a question, and this is to counter that. Algebra or geometry. Did you take that in school?
Yeah.
All right. Did you pass it? Of course. Yeah. Even if you didn't pass it, you'll say you get a C or a D. I'm saying right now, for everybody in the room, if you had algebra, you had geometry. If they give you an algebra and geometry question right now, you'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how it goes. It's like you learn all these things which you get brain dumps, but being in camp, these things that you learn, and you might see somebody, it's like, oh, I remember that. Oh, that's real good. Dang, I gotta go back to employing that. Oh man, so and so is doing this.
You talking about like workouts and different?
Yeah, just different things. Like you see different things. Like you're accustomed to doing certain things, like creating habits, but you forget things that you didn't do, or things that, what got you to be the sharpest? Like writing it down. Like I talked to Devin. I was like, what was your sharpest camp? And he was like, the Lomachenko camp was the sharpest camp. I said, well, you need to write down everything that, even though he's left-handed, you still need to write down everything that happened in camp. You can think about it and bring it to me. So let's employ some of that stuff while he was in camp, you know, because there was camps where he said last camp. So I've had him since he was young. So there's things that I do with anybody. I don't care what. I have a video out that I was showing like different drills on the tire and different things. I was like, I don't care if you was elite amateur or world champion, not world champion. Everybody done these drills. Zach Judah has done these drills. Andy Jacobs has done these drills. Tony Harrison, Devin Haney. Devin Haney when he was like just starting out, and then he had and then he commented on it. He was saying, "I missed that." You know what I'm saying? So I was like, "Yeah, you got to write down things that you used to do. I got you really sharp, and then things you do now." Like he's like, "I didn't hit the shield this camp." Yeah, he's like, I didn't hit the shield. I didn't do certain things. And I was like, man, you got to employ that. Wherever you think you were the sharpest and you wrote it down, that's what you want to get back to.
I understand that just by playing football.
There you
I
go.
played college football,
Right.
so
So do you understand?
oh yeah, oh yeah. I understand everything.
Yeah.
As far as boxing, I mean, when I first got in the gym, I was in San Diego and I saw Julius Ballo.
Okay. Okay.
Julius Ballo and his cousin Johnny Manzoor. And this is when they were amateurs. And I was like, dang, like these dudes, like they are pros. Like a system, like clockwork, like every day. And with that, the rest of the gym pretty much followed that and became like home. And it was started to remind me of like playing sports, being a part of a team.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's why having a good gym and good gym chemistry is a good thing because we can help, you know what I'm saying? Because and it wasn't until I left that gym. This is Bomber Squad out there in San Diego. It wasn't until I left that gym is when I started to realize, dang, you know, boxing, like they had toxic gyms. I didn't know that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like every day you might go up in there, there might be some tension, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta lace up. Yeah, I ain't get introduced to that until later.
Yeah, that was some crazy stories. I'll tell you about those stories probably on another podcast
Yeah.
about the Floyd Mayweather camp, people bringing guns in. Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. We
Definitely,
definitely gonna have to get
definitely
a
some
part
toxic
two.
things.
Cornell Moten. Oh,
Yeah.
Cornell
Yeah.
Moten. What makes him special?
I think it goes in eras of concepts, and he followed like he's been with Floyd since he was a baby. So you could see him on videos or him fighting of training with Floyd Mayweather Sr. during the mids, but he's been in Floyd's gym since he was like 7 years old. Floyd has been like helping his career and stuff. And the mentality, like Floyd talks to him about being in shape, training, his training habits. He's another one. Floyd, Devin, and Cormel are three workhorses. Those are the three guys who I've seen who work the hardest. Their energy is like different. You know, it's about getting in shape. They have been with different trainers or a lot of trainers, but they have trained, they have always had a base of, I'm going to get, as the rounds go on, I'm going to get stronger and stronger and train. And it's just immaculate the way that their fathers, because you have to give their fathers credit. You know, people, now all the fathers is assholes. Every father is an asshole. So I'm not saying that just their fathers is assholes, but every father is an asshole when they have a son. And you have to be that way. I didn't understand it. So it was deja vu for me when I was training Devin. I thought Bill was an asshole. And understand and see why. And I wasn't mature enough to stay with him. And then that's why I left on my own, stuff like that. But we come back now. I'm mature enough. He's mature enough. And we're having a blast right now. But I got the same thing with Formel. I trained him for his first three fights. But I left on the fourth one. I don't know if Devin and them left me on by the fourth one because they wanted to train Floyd. They wanted to do something for some optics. They had Floyd Mayweather Sr. because they was on pay-per-view. So then I just was like, I didn't understand what Bill's vision. So I left, or I was left in the dark. So it was cool. But the Cormel one, after the third fight, I was like, I'm going to Denver to train my regular clients. Whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? I left that because I seen that his dad and him were bumping heads a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And his dad still had parental rights over him. So I didn't want to get fired or get stuck because I'm not his his dad. So,
Yeah.
and then a lot of dads don't go no boxing, but they know their kids, which is understandable. I may not know your kid, but I know boxing. So you can't, with me is like when I start training a guy and the red flag is when I train somebody and I'm teaching them something, and then after I'm teaching them for a half an hour, then he talks to his, you're 24/7 with your son. Then he talks to your son and be like, no, no, don't do it that way, do it this way. And I'm just like, okay, that's the sign for me too. I need to exit because for one, you don't know boxing. And then the second thing is you tell him after I done trained this guy doing something one way, you're gonna tell him not to do it. You could have brought it to my attention because I always say we do it the right way. There's not a my way or your way, it's the right way. So if you can find a better way from him getting from point A to point B without getting hit, I'm totally for that. So when that started to happen, I was like, okay, I know that I'm going to be out of this situation. And it all worked out for me because me leaving that situation, I wound up going to Miami. Every situation I've been in, you get in situations because God puts you in places and he removes you. Even if you don't believe in God, there's a higher power than you that's going to move you from one place to another place. So when I got that job, everything was working out, and then I got from that place, I wound up going to Miami, and then I wound up getting David Benavidez. So I was like, wow, that's bigger. And then,
Recently, that was before his last big fight, right?
yeah,
Yep.
and then that situation happened. And then after that situation, I moved from that place because his dad came, which is cool. But he knew I had told him, I'm fed up with dads. I ain't training with dads. My thing was, your dad can't beat me fighting, or he can't show me in the ring with his hands the thing that he gonna tell me that you shouldn't be doing. Then if you can't show me, then don't be talking to him. So I had told David Benavidez, I was like, look, you my guy. I will help you out the best way I can. But if your dad comes along, I'm out. And I appreciate the respect that you have from me because he paid me. You know,
Hmm.
David Benavidez paid me for training him. But when his dad came, him and his dad made up after Thanksgiving, and his dad was coming back. I was like, I'm out of here. Well, it was still cool. And then I was training regular clients, having a blast. Young thug, a little baby. I was having a blast, just training
I
folks.
saw that.
And
I
then from
saw that.
there,
I
I
saw that.
want Devin comes into the gym. He comes into the gym and he sees me. We start talking, and he was like, "What you doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm doing that." He had his hand wraps on and everything. He was like, "Hey, man, coach, let's hit the mitts for old time's sake. Let's just, like work out." We worked out one day, and then he said, "What you doing tomorrow?" I was like, "I'll be here." He's like, "You training anybody?" Because I was training Frank Martin,
Mhm.
and I was like, "You training anybody?" I was like, "Nah, I ain't training nobody. I'm cool." He's like, "Coming in tomorrow." Came in the next day training with me, and then he was like, let me get your number, this and that. And then he was like, Coach, what you doing tomorrow? Who you training? Then I told him, I was like, look, bro, stop trying to size me up or trying to go around it. What are you doing? I said, you want me to train you or not? You know what I'm saying? Because you keep asking me every day, who am I training? Then he just started laughing. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a fight coming up. I want a new trainer. And I'm happy to be back with you. Let's train. I was like, all right, cool. And then he was like, I just wanted to fill you out because, if you train Frank, you couldn't train me. And I was like, oh, no, no. Frank left me for Buddy McGirt. He doesn't have a fight coming up. So, I wish him well on that. I'm cool. So now I'm training that.
Let me ask you this: how do working with these fighters, especially the young fighters like Cormel, how do they make you a better coach?
So if you look up the definition of coaching is the definition wise is like you can be a coach and still be a trainer and teacher. You know what I'm saying? So the ideal of it, it's more than just coaching because you have to mentor him because he's a kid. He could be my kid. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's like you got to mentor him. You got to make sure they do right by themselves. And then sometimes he'd be like hostile or he'd be mad at his dad. I say, listen, no matter what happens, don't disrespect your dad, especially don't do it in front of me because I'm a parent and I'm an adult too. I was like, you gonna disrespect him. I said, because I used to disrespect my parents. I said, do it in front of your friends because they younger. You know what I'm saying? Because you used to always say you hate your mom, you hate your dad, and all that shit. That's
Hmm.
disrespectful. But I was like, you gonna do it. Don't do it in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's bad. That's bad and disrespectful. You shouldn't do it at all. But I know that you will because we've all done it. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of times that I went upstairs and said to myself, "Well, I hate my mom. She get on my goddamn nerves." You know what I'm saying? But my mom is gone now, and I wish she was here. So things like that. So I was just telling them that, and then mentoring them, and then also like telling them about the game because I've been in the game boxing wise. I was a pro, 10-0, 9 knockouts. So I'm telling them things like, things to do. Tell them don't sign his rights away. Make sure that you keep your brand fresh. Make sure you do things that the people are not doing. You take little bits and pieces of things that people are doing. But at the end of the day, training is very important, very essential.
I got 2 more questions. Matter of fact, 3, because you said something. What made you get out of boxing? What made you
stop boxing?
Oh.
Well, so okay, I was 10-09 knockouts. I was left-handed. So Tarver and I turned pro at the same time. The Magic Man. Yep, we're both 27 years old. We turned pro. We turned pro at the same time. But he had management. He had somebody under, even though he got a shitty deal the first time. He had a shitty deal. They was talking about he wasn't really that good after he got the Olympics, got the bronze medal. He wasn't going to be X, Y, and Z. So he had to basically prove himself. But me being a southpaw and me knocking a lot of guys out with their headgear on in the amateurs, it was hard for me to get a fight as a pro because I'm left-handed one and I knocked a lot of people out too. So I boxed for a little while, had my 10 pro fights. And then I just was like, I got offered a job. I had a top secret security clearance. I got offered a job. Now I'm in the Army, but I got offered a job, $40 an hour. This is in 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, $40 an hour is a nice little bit of money. So I got $40 an hour to do land system administrator. I think I was doing web pages at the time. And I got a job, a part-time job making $40 an hour. So and I was just like, man, and I wasn't making no money boxing. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, if I don't get a fight in the next 4 months, I'm just gonna, wash my hands of it and do something else. Still gonna train, still gonna box. But I just was like, I'm just gonna do something else. Then I got the part-time job, 9/11 hit, all that type of stuff. So I want to keep my job.
This like your walk kind of reminds me of like my journey that I'm on. Because once I got out, I got offered jobs with my clearance, so I know how it is. They gonna just be calling just because you already got the clearance and you ain't got nothing, ain't got nothing else to worry about.
Actually, I got shortchanged too. So I got $40. I was working at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Got $40 an hour to train because I had a clearance, but they knew that I had a job in the Army too. So really, and then because people that I would teach that would like you come in, you had a top secret security clearance, you would come in and I'd be teaching you, and then you tell me that you making $82. I'm like, shit, I'm getting robbed and I'm training you. So I knew that when I got out, I was gonna make more, you know what I'm saying? But I was in. So I mean, $40 for a guy who always getting money on it.
But you was getting money and
oh, I was getting money in both hands. So, yeah, it wasn't as bad. But I still got shortchanged because I didn't even fight it when they said, oh, we're gonna give you $40 an hour, here's the paperwork. I didn't even say, well, I think I'm worth this much. I just signed it like, oh yeah, cool. When I start. So
sound like a mistake I made a time or two.
Yeah.
When it comes to boxing, women's boxing is actually becoming way more popular. Who's your favorite female boxer right now?
Favorite female boxer.
I know that's a loaded question. I know it's hard because there's a few of them that I like.
Clarissa Shields is my favorite female boxer. Yeah, like she talks shit and she backs it up.
You know what? It was a fighter that I met, a female fighter last night. She said the same thing. She said all she do is talk shit.
But she backs it up.
She backs it up.
She backs it up. She talks shit. She may say, I'm the GOAT, I'm this, I'm that. But when she get in that ring, she performs. Now, I want to tell you too, I used to train Alicia Baumgartner. But I want to tell you that I always tell people too, though, and people always say that I'm behaving. So that's why I'm coming out on a podcast, Facts Over Feelings.
I saw that. Okay, that's what it's about.
All right. So yeah, it's about facts. So it's like, and then it's like, fuck your feelings.
Yeah.
But it's all facts. So if you come up with something and it's a fact, I have to go by it. If you tell me something about myself, oh, Fareed, when you was an amateur, so and so, this and that, you lost to this guy twice, so and so, this and that. That's a fact. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm coming out with facts of the field, because young kids today, as soon as you tell them something or you say something, they say you hate.
They get in their feelings.
Yeah, they say you hate on them all.
So what happened?
On which one?
But not because you said you was going into facts over feelings, but you were like, people say you be hating like.
Oh, but the ideal of there's only 237 professional women in boxing. Is that right, Dawn? Because you're boxing. Huh? Okay, so really there's only 200. Let's say there's 237 professional boxers around the world.
Right.
237. So that's why it's easy for, because people say, and I'm not hating, I'm just telling the truth. When women be like, there was a girl who was boxing that Alicia Baumgartner stopped her, knocked her out, and then she wound up getting the title in a different weight class. I forgot her name. Long story short, she was boxing. She had these booty shorts on. She's hitting the bag, and it's talking about how good she is, so and so, this and that. And I was saying, oh yeah, she's not generating the power because she's not turning her foot on her punch, so and so. And people were talking to me like I was an asshole, saying I was hating, so and so, this and that. She's a 2-time world champion, so and so. And then I put, there's only 237 women that's professional in boxing in the world. So you can get a title at 2 fights. You could be 2-0 and still fight for a world title. You know what I'm saying? You
That's a
could be
fact.
1-0 and fight for a world title. So you can't put it on, you can't say like they compare as far as a woman and a man, like in boxing. Like they say, oh, what did you do? So and so, oh, you just, like somebody said, oh, you broke the top 10. That's the only thing you did in boxing, so and so and that. Yeah, okay. And I was like, there's more men that box than women. So, you could be 2-0 and fight for a world title. You could win a title. Clarissa Shield is still one of the best. She says she's the GOAT. I don't know between her and her compliments speak for herself. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Her and Layla Ali, time wise, blah blah blah. But I'm saying her accomplishments speak for herself. But her first pro fight, I think her second one, she fought for a world title. It's just kind of like, like, so it's like, yeah, she's not like Lomachenko. You can't pair her and Lomachenko together because Lomachenko fought for his second pro fight. He fought for a title. Even though he lost, he still fought for a world title, second pro fight.
Mm-hmm.
Third pro fight, he wound up winning the world title. You can't compare apples and oranges. They're still fruit. One is a hot climate, one is a cold climate. You know what I'm saying? But still fruit. You know what I'm saying? But it made different because they're from a different source.
Right.
So I always be talking when I talk about how women, there's 237 women that's boxing. So if you actually good at what you could fight for a world title your second pro fight. You do 2-minute rounds, 10 2-minute rounds, you can win a title. Then you go do X, Y, and Z.
I'm actually going to, soften the blow because, they still going to be in their feelings. As a boxer, whether if you had 1 fight, 2 fights, 3 fights, a female boxer that fights for a good amount of money, but then they perform in front of thousands of people. I think that alone should be enough in the sense of accomplishments, fighting for a world title or not. But we talking about Alicia Baumgartner, Clarissa Shields. Who's the two that fought? They had 3. They had 3 fights. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
Yeah.
And there's another there too. What these women are doing is incredible, like incredible. And then as far as styles go, I love Alicia Baumgartner's style. I love it. And then you got Clarissa Shields. She got a bag too, but she really gonna bully you. Correct me if I'm wrong, because she been just be bulldozing over people. And so, and I was at that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano too. I was at that fight. And I'm just like, man, you know what? These women, they deserve more credit for what they doing in the ring because, I mean, whether if you're a female or not, boxing is hard, really hard.
Yeah. Anybody who's in that ring, yeah.
So yes, they might have it. I'll say their accomplishments might be a little bit modified.
Right.
But it's cool though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool because I mean nowadays for the casuals, who cares? They don't even look at Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His accomplishments are, notoriety in the sport of boxing. He's selling out stadiums.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, when it comes to female boxing, I want to give them a shout out because I love how it's starting to take off. And I think that Jake Paul might be a help of that. What you think?
Oh, he's definitely doing that because he got the MVP. And so he got all the girls. He got all the girls.
Yeah. So last question. Who you got? Shakur or Teo?
Oh man, I'm not going against Shakur. It's gonna be hard. It'll be hard for me to go against Shakur. Even though Teo fights to his level as competition, he's a stunner on that. The definition of boxing is the art of hit and not get hit.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had a thesaurus, there would be a picture of Shakur Stevens on there of hit and not get hit. Because in this era, he's so slick with it.
Is that the comparison that you make with him and Floyd?
Nah.
Because they both very like.
Nah, I think his defense is a little But him being left hand is a little different. He's a little so when Pretty Boy Floyd, people don't talk about Pretty Boy Floyd. They just talk about Money
I
Mayweather.
do. I talk about Pretty.
Yeah, but Pretty Boy Floyd got hurt a couple times. Pretty Boy Floyd also will go to your ass. He
Yes.
stepped right to you. You know, he got hurt in the chop chop fight, even though he beat chop chop. He also got hurt. What's the drunken
Drunken Master.
Yeah,
Yep.
he got hurt in that fight too. That was his hardest fight. You know what I'm saying? But he also had like, you know, he's gotten better when his hands as he got mature and his hands started hurting more, he started working more on utilizing his defense of hit and not get hit and placing it and taking his time. But when he was a young Thundercat, he was like, yo, I'm going to your ass. And then he took a little more risk. He got hurt more. Shakur has never been like really hurt or stunned, you know what I'm saying, in his career. So I would
that's
say
the thing.
yeah.
And that's the thing that is gonna be interesting with his career down the line because he hasn't. But if he was to get hit,
And what next?
how would he be able to take it? That's the interesting part. That's gonna show it with Teo, because Teo, he do have skill.
But that's one of the problems you want to have when somebody say, you know, when you're a fighter and when you're a boxer or a fighter and you're 20-0, 22-0, and people say, what if he gets hit? You know what I'm saying? Or his chin. I don't know if he has a good chin because he doesn't get hit. That's a good problem to have when people talk like that. Because they don't know what happened to you. Oh, I don't know if he could take those punches. Yeah, sometimes you'll never find out because I'm not going to take these punches. You know, you would be a fool to sit down and take these punches. And that's how he thinks. So I watched him and Devin spar at their amateurs.
I saw it on YouTube.
I was there and I watched him spar and work out with different people.
Oh, you was there for the one they posted on YouTube?
Yeah. So I'm just telling you that, you know, this guy is crafty. His mind, defensive first. He's the defense, like he loves Pernell Whitaker. He's a defense specialist. But he doesn't keep his hands on you as much as Pernell did because Pernell Whitaker kept his hands on you. And we used to say that, like the older guys used to always say, I would learn that from Georgia Benton, who used to train him. You always keep your hands on somebody. If you keep your hands on them, you know where they are at all times. If I'm jabbing you and turning you, got my hands on you, touching you, I already know where you are. Shakur doesn't show that as much, like keeping his hands on you, but he does enough to do what he does. So I'm going with Shakur Stevens.
I actually saw Shakur Stevenson spar thanks to you that same night. Caleb playing in Benavidez fought at Top Rank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with Shakur.
Yeah, I got to see that, man. That was pretty cool. Now I'm at their gym because they in Houston.
Okay.
So they're only like 20 minutes away from the house.
Jay Prince. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a shout out to Ronald Sims. Ronald Sims is a buddy of mine who trains there. But he was in the Air Force while I was in the Army and we boxed. He's been to almost like every Olympic since like 80. He competed, like he knows everybody. So like 84, 88, 92, 96. He's been like a lot of Olympics, the trials and stuff. So he's been involved in boxing. One of the better coaches and teachers and mentors. Ronald Sims. I had to give him a shout out. Yeah.
So when the podcast dropping?
The podcast is soon, man. I was just talking to my buddy Joe Frisbee. He's going to make my banner. So I was just talking about it because I wanted a banner. So I want to take my banner everywhere I go. Like right now, I would have a banner right here. Like I'd be in a hotel room, have my banner would just come down. So I have a banner. I'm going to shoot it. I won't be able to shoot everywhere. Like you are, I would be mobile. So my thing of, you know, Brother Fareed, Training Perfection, mobile, soon to be global. Then it was mobile, now global. So when my podcast is going to be mobile also. So, you know, and global. You know, eventually. But my podcast, everywhere I go, I'm gonna have my banner, drop the banner, we're gonna do it, go about our business and move from there. You know, I'll be stationary also, but when I on the move, there'll be no quitting.
Here's my thing with podcasting. Back, you know, everybody would want to be a rapper, want to drop music. Now you see that with podcasts, but the difference is that, you know, you got music with substance and you got music that's bullshit. And so when it comes to the podcast, I definitely understood pretty quickly, like, okay, in order to, you know, actually be authentic, you actually have to be authentic when that camera comes on and you talk and have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because now people are listening. You're giving people access to your thoughts.
Yeah. Letting them into your world.
And you letting them into your world. And so with that being said, I mean, it's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
cause I be having these conversations. I'm like, but then I'm like, man, fuck it. You just gonna fuck it is what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You either gonna hate it
Yeah.
or you gonna love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But for us, I enjoy conversations with substance. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Something that's gonna give me some insight, something that might put me on game.
Yeah.
This podcast, and one thing I said when I started doing this, because I started with traveling because I travel.
Okay.
That's what I do. But
Yeah.
I'm like, but I love boxing. I'm like, both of these worlds, they don't kind of make sense, but they make sense to me, and we're gonna make it make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to boxing, like I'm taking the angle of wanting the world to know about the person and
Okay.
wanting the audience to know about the fighter, because anytime you do a podcast, you're gonna bring in a new audience. Like this one isn't just boxing. Which is why a lot of people that I'm starting to get to know, they're like, oh yeah, I started to talk to such and such. Man, yeah. Now a lot of people that I know they watching fights.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So boxing is starting to get bigger and bigger. Did you watch the press conference with Canelo and Crawford?
No, I was actually working. I saw bits and pieces of it, but I was actually working.
Man, Canelo, he had to stop Max Kellerman from going on his whole tangent.
I just be talking about that too. Like, so that's why I came over back to the field, because
Yeah.
people say, well, hating because they talk about, oh, Max is the best, so and so this and that. I was like, Max
false.
don't know crap about boxing. I had to
Even
think
though
about Roger Mayweather.
even though he is
Just
not
because you cover something don't mean you know something.
exactly. And he's been mainstream. Like
Right.
I said this already. The real boxing analysts are the ones that are doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The boxing community is small. Boxing is so big worldwide.
And I hate it too, man, because they have, like I always tell them, Andre Ward, Antonio Tarver, Roy Jones, those guys, Paulie Malignaggi, because you have to tell the truth too. Those guys are boxing analysts and they've been through it, but they're gonna tell you the truth when they watch it.
Those are the people that you.
But they want Max Kellerman. They want people. The other guy on the zone who's horrible. He's horrific too. You can tell. I don't even watch boxing with the volume. So when I normally watch boxing, I cut the volume on because I don't want to hear it. Because you could tell who they're swaying for, who pays whose bills, because you could say when they watching the boxing who they're for.
I low key seen them with Top Rank.
Yeah, so it's just how it is. So I don't even watch it with the volume on. But these guys don't know boxing. Well, there's a difference between written, like I say, tactical or tactical. There's a lot of people that can take a written test about boxing and get 100 on it. But when you actually go out there and employ it and do X, Y, and Z, they don't know shit.
You know who I like?
Well, that's why Roger Mayweather used to always tell people they don't know shit
about boxing. I like Greg Harkin. I like his breakdown.
Oh, Greg Harkin don't be playing. He's from Philly. That's my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my homie. But Greg tells the truth too.
He do.
Yeah, Greg tells the truth too.
I can listen to Greg talk boxing all day.
Yeah. Greg is total street too, though. He'll tell you like how it is, what's going on, and he'll fight you too. So he will. Greg, he's like that.
And he respected. Man, I said it'll be dope if Turkey was to give him a spot as far as being a boxing analyst, because he's actually making the sport make sense to somebody who don't know. I've learned that way.
Yeah.
Just by listening to people talk boxing. So,
right.
But one more time, man, where can they find you and when the podcast drop?
All right, so the podcast is coming soon. The podcast will be out, I would say. So we fight November 22nd. I'm in Riyadh. So I gotta backtrack real fast. Whatever you say, good or bad, comes into existence. Try to focus on the positive things and say things out loud. All right, when you say it out loud, you own it. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be talking about, I'm in my mind, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But when you say it out loud, I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be the best boxer ever. You own that. I'm gonna be coach of the year. You own that. I'm gonna be this and that. You own it because you're talking to you or you're talking to your friends. With that being said, is you have to say positive things out there. So I had on my list that I'm Australia last year. I went to Australia last year, wound up standing for my birthday. This year, I had said that, put on my chalkboard, that I was going to Riyadh because I was going to get with Turkey. I was going to get out there because I'm a Muslim too. And I was like, man, I'm getting out there. I'm getting to one of these big fights. Devin Haney fights November 22nd. I'm going to be there. So that's going to happen also. So I had to say that little spill. So you can find me on Train to Perfection, Train, the number 2, Perfection. That's on my YouTube. That's also on my Instagram. Facts Over Feeling is on my Instagram also. FACTZ over, and then feelings was without the I. So I had to do that because somebody already took Facts Over Feelings. So I had to take that. I had to change it up a little bit. Then also I had to brand it. So I had to make sure that it was right. You can find me anywhere. And if you do your due diligence, you can actually just go to YouTube or you can go to Google and look at my information, type in my name, and has my phone number on there. If I don't want to talk to you, I'll tell you that I don't want to talk to you. So my phone number is on the internet. So if you want to call, talk about boxing, or you want to talk about training or doing some online stuff, you can just call me.
I can't wait for it to come out, brother. Hey, man, I sure do appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I
For
really
sure.
appreciate you.
Most definitely. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. See y'all on the next one.